Well, that's when the representative from Monsanto came out to my farm. He recommended a pre-emergent, in-furrow mixture of Lorsban with atrazine in a tank mix, and I told him to get off my land.
Hey fellas. My, that's good coffee. So, Sean at Prime Model Works, he's said about how people get upset, all the people get upset where he's always starting his videos drinking coffee. I think I'd like to try that as well, because, you know, I like to annoy my subscribers. So go ahead and thumb the video down right now, and you can just show me who's boss. Because, you know, I just like to piss people off. So, April is now drawing to an end, and something really drastically life-changing, actually, is kind of like an alarming thing happened, and I guess I'll share it with you. So those of you who have been following my stupid videos for quite a long time, you may be aware of the situation, but I saw the movie Titanic, and it was against my will, because I had planned to put that on my grave, my tombstone, saying, "Here lies Greg, he never saw Titanic." And so my life goal has been ruined, thanks to my wife. She really wanted to see the movie. Like, she hadn't seen the movie since, like, I don't know, when it was new, right? Like, it was over, gosh, what was that, like 25 years ago or so? She wanted to see it again. I'm like, she's like, no, I really want to see it. I'm like, okay, fine. So, the first time I went to the video rental store. By the way, we still have video rental stores in Japan. It's really great, because I hate that online crap with the, you know, paying for monthly services and stuff. No thanks. Anyhow, I went to the video rental store, and they didn't have it. They had like 2 copies of it, and they were both gone. I'm like, okay, all right. So I told my wife, I took a picture of it. I'm like, see, this proves to you that it was not there, and I'm not lying to you. And the second time, maybe like a month later, she remembered again, and I'm like, okay, fine. So I found the movie. They actually had it, and I was able to rent it. I saw the movie. It's just like everybody says. It's not a great movie, but it's not a bad movie. And I have seen the Plinkett review, and it talked about how the movie was, you know, James Cameron wanted it to have a lot more action, and how that was nixed by the studios. They told him how to make the movie, and so some exciting scenes were cut out and such. The love thing was dumb, but actually I could appreciate the fact that the story was about how this the DiCaprio's character really woke the girl up to seeing the world as completely different than what her constructed worldview is, and so he showed her like the people below decks, and you know the fun that they have despite not having all the affluent, you know, opulence and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it was an interesting movie. So anyhow, enough of that. So as of last week, I've been ordered to stay home, and so okay, I don't really talk much about my job at all, and I'm not going to talk about it much here. But when classes were canceled, you know, the other foreign teachers and myself, we were, at our desks at City Hall. Normally, I don't really work with them. I don't really see them on a regular basis at all. But when we were all together, it's fun for a while, but it's like I'm used to like not listening to English or whatever, and I just don't want to listen to some of the conversations that goes on. I mean, they're nice people, but like in when I lived in Shizuoka Prefecture, like especially there was one guy. He was always, Japan sucks, man. Blah blah blah. It's like, just pack up and go back to America, okay, dude? Just go, and just everybody really, just not everybody, but most people found him to be a real drag. Unfortunately, I don't have to deal with that. So the conversation that kept, like, every day, every morning, I would come to work, and it was like, man, this virus is gonna spread here, and when it comes here, we're all doomed, man, doomed, game over, man, game over.
You're thinking, people gonna die?
And I would have to listen to this, I'm like, oh, and finally, when, again, I don't like to gossip or anything, but, like, one guy said, the police should force people to wear masks, and like they were all wearing masks except for me, and I'm like, I don't want to say I went off on him, but I kind of like, dude, look, you're being lied to, and I said that like this virus is not killing all the like tons of people like the media would like you to believe it is. And I said, masks don't do anything. Like the mask that everybody wears in Japan, it's like at a microscopic level, it's like this, and the viruses just go right through there. It's not going to protect you at all. So that's not the reason why doctors wear those things, right? And the stuff at the grocery stores, the drug stores, that's not going to prevent viruses. So anyhow, he ended up apologizing to me. They're nice people, but they're just really, really taken in by a lot of this stuff, and that's why I have also been trying to encourage people on my channel to listen to the dissenters. There's more than one point of view that what the corporate media wants you to believe. So when the corporate media is funded by the drug companies, it's obviously what they're going to present as news is going to be favoring their agenda. This is not anything. I can't imagine how that is difficult to grasp, okay? But yet at the same time, I get a lot of pushback. I get this, show it up and build models, and I'm like, dude. And still people, I'm constantly saying, look, this was never intended to be a modeling channel. Now, if I had said, hey, this is, Greg's modeling channel, and this is nothing but models, and then I start talking about other stuff, I can understand why people might get upset or whatever. But, screw them. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm just presenting something new to people to help them understand kind of what's going on as I see it. Nobody's forcing anybody to watch my videos. And apparently just recently, this past week, yet somebody else came out of the woodwork and, I guess somebody's holding a gun to his head. And that's really unfortunate. But this is my Star Trek coffee cup from Las Vegas. Right, so like, why is a Klingon bird of prey opening fire on the Enterprise? I don't know, because they're supposed to be friends, right? But see, look, it says Craig. My name's Craig. It's not Steve. Okay. So I realize that there is a tendency to throw people into cognitive dissonance when you start telling them that these unelected oligarchs are basically taking away your freedoms, okay? So they're just like going like, they're like, no, that's not true. The media would never lie to me. I don't know what you're talking about. And okay, so this is not a scientist. This is not a doctor. This guy also is not a doctor. Oh, but look, they seem to be good friends, right? Isn't that interesting? Oh, and also, this is not a scientist. Definitely not a scientist. But why really? Why do we care if this woman is on the phone with this Tedros guy? Seriously, this is not a doctor. This is not a woman. This is not an economist. So I'm watching these press conferences. Very, very interesting. Very interesting stuff. And I know a lot of people, they don't want to know about this sort of stuff. They would rather tune into, like, CNN, and they're like, oh, this breaking news, you're all going to die. Everybody sucks, and we're all going to die. Stay indoors. Do as you're told. You're all going to die. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you are really of that mindset, you should probably just watch that instead of tuning into my videos. It's a no-brainer, right? Just why are you even here if this really upsets you? So something that's interesting that has been coming up in these press conferences with the president, they're starting to discuss this Wuhan level 4 biolab. And it seems to me that somebody was mentioning that back in January and February. Now, who was? Oh, that's right, it was me. Because Greg's not so stupid after all, I guess, right? So, not only is that coming out, but $3.7 million was sent to this Wuhan Institute of Virology. This was given way back in 2015. It was funding this coronavirus and bats and stuff like that. Isn't that interesting? I did not know about that. That is something that has also been dropped. Okay? And guess what? It involved this Dr. Tony Fauci, that little Italian Keebler elf guy you've probably seen on TV. So, it's like, you got all these, you don't have like one big smoking gun, but you have all of these other tiny little smoking guns, right? And they all kind of lead into one pattern. And again, as I've mentioned before, there's something called Occam's razor, okay? You could just discount everything and just be like, well, that's just a coincidence, that's a coincidence, that's a coincidence. And you can go on all day just dismissing everything as coincidences. But if you see the pattern, everything's kind of lining up and gearing towards what is actually going on. Occam's razor, it says that the easiest explanation is probably the correct one. So when you have everything lining up, all these people funding this Wuhan Institute of Virology, this level 4 biolab, and there's only one, that was like one of only 12 in the entire world. And everything's been focused on this whole coronavirus thing since like back in 2015 or so during the Obama administration. Now, as far as I am concerned, there's just one credible explanation, and the conclusion that I would arrive at is,
son of a bitch must pay.
Now, since I have been offering an alternative to what the corporate media says, and unfortunately a lot of the independent media as well, like for example Natural News, I've really liked following their coverage on stuff, but they're really into the whole fear mongering, and I've really been rather disappointed with that. But since I have spoken up about this, some people have shared with me their experiences. Hopefully you don't mind mentioning, but there's a guy named Will who is a viewer of my channel. He said that he had a friend who died of the coronavirus, and his friend was on a respirator. From what I have gathered, 9 out of 10 people who are put on the respirators will die, and it seems that these respirators are the ones that are killing people. And stuff is slowly coming out. Unfortunately, a lot of people have to die before the truth is out, because again, the media, they are really shilling hard to protect the interests of vaccine makers and big pharma, and not on saving people. You know, it's like they want people to die to basically force vaccinate everybody. And we don't need vaccines. We just need them to stop making new viruses. And that's what this Institute of Virology, like, what do you think goes on in some place like that? You know, do they just read poetry to the viruses or something, or do they actually experiment on them, modify them, and continue to work on them, and then see if you can create vaccines and such? That's exactly what they do with these sort of things. And when these Bill Gates or any of these people are funneling money into this, and then they say, well, hey, we have the solution. It's pretty obvious what their agenda is. Another James in California, he said that his father died, but then again, his father was also had kidney and heart failure, and he had pneumonia. And again, as I've put forth on this channel before, it doesn't matter if you die of kidney failure or heart failure or pneumonia or regular influenza. If they deem so, they can put you down as COVID-19, and then they can make money off of you that way. And or I'm sorry, not off of you. Well, basically everybody, taxpayers' money. They can make money. The hospital receives money for every COVID-19 patient, and especially if they're put on these respirators. It's unbelievable. But are they going to say no, we don't need money, no thanks? Yeah, the hospitals are for profit, right? So it's going to be case by case. But now I called my father and my aunt. She's been going through chemotherapy. She had cancer, and I told him, like, look, chemotherapy. If the cancer doesn't kill you, the chemotherapy will. Chemotherapy is just, it's nasty, and that's what gave my mom leukemia. And I told him this, and he knows it's true. But anyhow, my aunt, because she had been on chemotherapy, she has been, like, really weakened, and so they they put her in the COVID-19 ward. She's like, look, no, I don't have coronavirus. Get me out of here. They tested her, and she came up negative. They kept her there. They tested her again later. Again, she was negative, and they finally let go of her. But because they had treated a corona patient, that means they get money. So it just opens a door to so much corruption, and it's rather frightening. That is what is scaring me. And when I've talked to people about, oh boy, this virus thing, and I'm like, you know what? What really concerns me is that the Institute of Virology in Wuhan, right? And I can just see, like, their face blanks out. They're like, does not compute, abort, retry, fail, and I just see it in their eyes. They just check out. And I'm like, why am I so crazy? It's like, look, there's a website. You can actually see that this place actually exists. What is their response? No. And here's something. Check this out. Bill Gates. India wants him. India, he managed to piss off the entire country of India because of his vaccines. Would you like to take a look at this website? And look at this. Fauci's NIAID funded the Wuhan lab scientists to research bat coronavirus. This is the news, okay? Would you like to see it? Just look, read. Just look. Oh no. Hey, there's something called Operation Paperclip, okay? The Nazis didn't actually lose World War II. They just packed their bags and moved to North and South America. Check this out, Operation Paperclip. The OSS, they made deals with a bunch of Nazi scientists. That's how you get Werner von Braun, and the inventor of the V2 rocket, and how he became the head of NASA. Just check it out. Look, there's a website. It's even on Wikipedia. You're not scared of Wikipedia, are you? Just look at this. Look at this.
No. Oh, no.
Oh, and guess what? Back in 2015, the FBI, they dumped their whole file online, just quietly dumped it online, showing all of the evidence that they had accumulated of Hitler actually escaping to South America, and he didn't actually die in Germany in that bunker. He did not actually commit suicide. That he actually lived, and they even have photographs of Hitler as an older man living in South America. This is not the Scooby-Doo fanfic website. This is actually the FBI website itself. Would you like to take a look?
No, I don't wanna. No.
So there is a human tendency to react rather hostile, at least rather negatively, towards something that threatens somebody's worldview. You think of how the media they have their basically their agenda, they present the news as how they want you to believe, right? They say, oh my gosh, hospitals are war zones. Then citizen journalists, people go on Twitter, they go to their website, they video their ER room. It's dead. There's nobody there. All over the country. Okay, let's go to the hospital. Let's see all the people, stacking all the dead bodies outside or whatever in the parking lot because there's no room for all the dead bodies, and oh my gosh, everybody's dying. Let's go and take a look and see what happens. And then you got these dancing nurses doing these stupid dance videos and such online on TikTok or whatever. I've never even been to that website, but they're all kung flu fighting, and I thought these people are like making life and death decisions night and day, and they are totally swamped, and it's a total war zone. And in fact, they've actually used footage of Italian hospitals and passed it off in New York, not only once but twice. They're not telling you the truth, are you? Are they? So just think for yourselves, guys. And I don't want to spend a whole lot more time on this, but you can get pissed off at me. You can thumb my videos down, but the evidence is that this is something else. More whistleblowers came out. A couple of doctors, ER doctors. They said, the guy was repeating multiple times, millions of cases, very few deaths. Millions of cases, very few deaths. And these people are dealing with this directly. I would say that they would probably know what's going on instead of some anchor person behind the desk at some corporate media headquarters. You listen to these people and listen to what they are saying, and there is a stark contrast, and so there is what is called cognitive dissonance when people they believe what is they're being told through media, and not only the news, but like in music and arts and entertainment, movies and all that kind of stuff. What they understand something to be, and when they hear something else, it's completely different. They kind of freak out or whatever, right? Like if you watch the Avengers movies, you can see Operation Paperclip. They even mention it, right? About how the Hydra scientists had made their way to America, right? And like the Captain America Civil War was all about how these Nazi infiltrators they had created, like they don't say it in the movie, but they call it a deep. Essentially, it is a deep state within, and they have all these politicians paid off and everything. You see that in a movie, and you're like, okay. Yeah, and then when people see evidence of this in real life, their brains check out, right? Also, in that very same movie, you could see mind control, like MK Ultra stuff with the Bucky, right, the Winter Soldier, and how they reference these code words, they unlock his mind. You can see that in the movie. And people will understand, okay, yeah, I'm following along. This is an interesting story. But they don't want to believe that this kind of stuff actually happens in real life. You present them with the evidence. Look, this is actually, it's called MK Ultra, Nazi scientists, CIA. Look into it. Just You're stupid, Greg. You don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid because this challenges my worldview. One of my favorite quotes is by Mark Twain. He said, or at least it's attributed to him, really widely attributed, that he had said, "It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled." This is very, very true. You know, knowledge must be seen for yourself. You can't just teach somebody knowledge. They have to see it for themselves. I didn't get to be the person I am by just following the news or following what my parents believe or whatever. I mean, I will admit that I came from a rather conservative background with my family, but then I came to realize that there is so much that we have been lied to about so many things. You tell people, you know, hey, you know what, NASA, the guy who helped found NASA was a ex-Nazi. They don't want to believe you. Oh no, that's stupid, that's crazy. Even on the NASA website itself talks about Werner von Braun, right? I'm not saying that he's a diabolical evil person, but yeah, he was a Nazi scientist. People don't want to believe you. And that's, of course, this video, my channel is geared towards hobbies and stuff like that. It always has been. It was never initially about modeling. I had done a whole bunch of, like, you know, action figures and video game stuff, and very, very few model stuff. And then I started doing that Tamiya Honda Fit, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'm actually learning how to become a better modeler as a result. So everybody, they just think, well, you have a modeling channel. It's like, no, that's just what I'm interested in. You know, I'm free to do whatever I want, right? Now, if somebody says, you know, Dave's Modeling or Model Master 9000 or whatever, if that's what you call your channel, and then you start talking about video games or crochet or something like that, people are going to be like, dude, what the hell? So yeah, once again, my channel, you're free to watch if you want to. Get over it if you don't want to hear anything, right? You can always switch it off. Nobody's forcing you, and I've gone over this many times before. Anyhow, let's talk about some fun stuff here. So it's the end of April. Finally, I'm getting warm weather. I'm talking to my friend in Phoenix, Arizona, where I'm originally from, and it's like, he says it's over 100 degrees during the day there, and that's like, what, in Celsius? I'm an American, but I only think in terms of Celsius anymore, and I think it's like 42, 43 degrees Celsius there already during the day, and oh my gosh, I'm so glad I don't live there anymore. But it's warming up here, and it's going to be like a nice 20 degrees or so, and actually I'm getting kind of warm. So let me take my jacket off. Mom. Alright, let me talk to you about the CACW. Now, as you know, I'm a big Flying Tigers fan, and I have been reading a bunch of Flying Tigers history and such. So Claire Chenault, he was like a consultant to the Republic of China, and what's interesting is that when he went there, there was already a squadron of Soviet pilots, these Russian pilots, and they were really badass too, and they were shooting down plenty of Japanese airplanes. They were already engaged with China, whereas America was still, you know, neutral and trying to stay out of the war. Well, Claire Chenault he was able to get some pilots, and some of them actually, like some of the bombers. I think like one man was mentioned. He was a tail gunner in one of the Chinese bombers. He was an American, and basically, you know, breaking the law, going renegade, in order to fight against the Japanese, because it was illegal for an American citizen to engage with you know, in combat against a foreign country that America was not involved in a war with. So anyhow, Claire Chenault did have a bad problem though with trying to get enough of these airplanes to train Chinese pilots, and they didn't really have much experience at all. There were a couple of victories that he was able to claim, but unfortunately they were losing planes, and he had started it wasn't Kunming, it was shoot, where was it? Anyhow, he had started a pilot training program, but they didn't have any planes to train them on. So what happened was they shipped a whole bunch of Chinese pilot trainees to America. So yeah, it was Hankow is where they were initially trained, but they had to get the people to America in order to properly train them, right? So they sent a whole bunch of Chinese pilots, their pilot trainees, to Arizona, where I'm from. Okay, this is the Thunderbird base. So there was a little air base, and you can look this up. Currently, it became the Thunderbird School of Global Management. It is a upper division level university where you can get your master's in global business and such. And so I had gone to school at ASU West when that was also, they had like a partnership. So a lot of the students, they could take classes at ASU West, and got to know a lot of interesting people, right? That was really interesting. And actually, Chinese woman from Thailand, she was a student there, and became good friends with my mom, and then she ended up marrying my uncle. So yeah, I have a bit of an international family. Anyhow, so they sent these pilots to this Thunderbird school, or like a flight school, right? And which is now currently a business management school. So they were instructed on how to be proper fighter pilots. And so what happened was they created the CACW, which is the Chinese American Composite Wing. And basically it was, I don't know what the ratio was, but there was a certain number of Chinese pilots per American pilot, right? Meanwhile, there was, of course, the American Volunteer Group, known as the Flying Tigers, that only existed for like 7 months or so. And from like officially what they started war, well, it was more like a year, but they didn't actually start, and actually there were some crashes and such before then, but they didn't start engaging with Japanese forces until after Pearl Harbor in December of 1941. So from December until like July or so, I think it was like July 4th when the Flying Tigers were officially disbanded, there was that period of about 7 months or so of actual combat. So eventually these trainees, they went back to China to actually fight against the Japanese. So it was like a composite of both American and Chinese fighter pilots. Okay, so this was, you could definitely tell with the Flying Tigers is that they had the Republic of China, the Chinese Air Force roundels. When the Flying Tigers became the 14th Air Force, the U.S. Air Force in China, the newer planes were getting the American stars instead. However, the Chinese Composite Air Wing, the CACW, they had the Republic of China roundels. And so it was kind of like almost like a continuation of the Flying Tigers, right? And they were still under Claire Chennault. And so it's really interesting because I have some decals or decals or okay. This is funny. All right, as an American, the pronunciation is decal. All right, here in Japan they say decal, and I've kind of started saying that, I guess. I guess it wasn't on purpose, it just kind of just started that way, I guess. we'll get into the etymology of the word later, but in Canada, they say decal. 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 And it's funny. Okay, yeah, Canadians are crazy, right? What do they know? They're all, hi, I'm from Canada, eh? They're free to say whatever they want, okay? In Canada, if they say decal, it's fine, okay? You don't have to harass them. Poor Jared, Rebels at Cloud9, he's always getting people giving him crap over the pronunciation, and it's always like they have to be Americans, I guess. I don't know. Americans have a real difficult time dealing with the idea of people with different pronunciations, I suppose. Anyhow, more on that later. I got my first snotty response over the pronunciation of how I say decal. So, best Fong decals. I just said it. Yeah, decal. Sorry, decal. I've shown this on my website before. Or not my website. I've shown this on my channel before. Here. Really cool stuff. Okay, so you get, this is the 72nd scale. You can also get these in, I think, 48 scale as well. But these are 3. Now this is part 2. Okay, this is the CACW of 3 different airplanes you can choose from. Now there's only enough decals. I mean, if you want to do the whole, no lift, no step kind of stuff, there's only enough decals for 2. You can build 2. But yeah, like with the roundels and such. So anyhow, it's very interesting. So this is stuff that I'm kind of learning about. So John Dunning, and I looked him up on the internet and learned about him as well. It's pretty cool stuff. So this is the part 2, and I have contacted Best Fong Decals about part 1, and so I've ordered that, but it's not coming just yet. So I'm still waiting on that. And in terms of acquisitions for models and such, it hasn't been a whole lot this month, but I guess I can show you what I do have. I only really bought 1 model, so I guess I'll show you that next. Alright, this is something, actually I think I got this earlier this year, and I'm just now finally getting around to featuring this, because I kind of forgot this on I think maybe I picked this up in March, I don't know. This is the Ginga from Yamato 2202. Now I have the big size 1000 scale kit of this. This is the Mecha collection kit. So I imagine when assembled this is going to be pretty much the same size as the Yamato. But yeah, it's just like the Yamato, except it's got a bunch of Star Trek type of windows all over the hull. And so it's pretty cool. And it has water slide decals. Isn't that nice? So, yeah, pretty cool. Cool stuff. But otherwise, it looks very, very similar to the Yamato. Looks like it's going to build up kind of the same way. The most noticeable difference between the 2 ships, though, except for the different command tower, it's got like this observation dome going on here. I'm not really sure what that's all about. I don't think they even really showed it very much in the show, but yeah, neat. Okay, I'm not going to open this up. I'm not in the mood. However, this is something. This is something pretty darn cool. This is made by Fujimi, even though it doesn't say so on the box. This is the Lamborghini Countach LP500S, the Walter Wolf special. Now, this was repackaged for North America by testers. And here we go. It says right there, Fujimi. But yeah, Walter Wolf special, otherwise known as Sideswipe from the Transformers. Haha. Isn't that neat? I like Transformers. And TJ, who's a viewer, he goes by Hogs. He sent me some Autobot decals, which are gonna look pretty darn cool on this kit, I think. So yeah, as far as Transformers go, this is what I got, the Tamiya Lancia, which is basically a Wheeljack, and this is Sideswipe. So I'm thinking also getting in the 24 scale. Aoshima has a yellow VW Bug, and it's actually originally the tooling is it was Imai. Yeah, Imai made the tooling, right? Because Aoshima bought a bunch of tools from Imai when they went under. Like Aoshima has re-released their Legios and Mospita kits, right, from the anime Mospita. They did the Maha Go Go Go, aka Speed Racer, a bunch of other kits that were formerly by Imai. Anyhow, I think, if I remember right, that is actually also sold to Italeri in... Yeah, I think Aoshima makes the OEM kits of the VW Bug. They'll pop it and send it to Italy, and I guess Italeri repop, or they repackages it. Anyhow, yeah, there you go. So Transformers fans will recognize the rally racing. It just kind of looks like rally, but whatever. These go right underneath the front headlights. Right? Now, the Sideswipe toy does not have this Canadian flower, the maple leaf, the Canadian flag. But, yeah, otherwise it's, this is Sideswipe, so that's really cool. Now, something to be careful of if you buy this kit is, like, my friend has the Testers repackage. This is like really weakened, and his is warped. So apparently a lot of the Testers kits are warped, and that's certainly definitely not good. But this fortunately is intact, and yeah, look at this. This is interesting. The rubber tires actually are already on the hubcaps. That is not something you see every day, at least not me. It's got some screws and stuff I don't want to lose. Yeah, so as typical of these supercar kits, you build up the engine. Right, look at those engine parts. That's fortunately, most of it's all silver, so it's going to be easy to paint and just hand paint the different details. But yeah, this is really cool. Tamiya also has like a Martini Porsche, and that would be Jazz. I'd like to get that as well, so I can start building up a whole bunch of Transformers. I use all those Autobot decals. So freaking cool, guys. This is really neat. Well, yeah, so that's it for the month of April as far as acquisitions go. Didn't really buy a lot, but yeah, neat stuff. Supplies! This is CC Pearl, color-coded pearl pigment. Oh my gosh, yay. I have bought the yellow pearl from my local hobby shop, and they didn't have any red, so I had to buy this off of yotobashi.com. But here you go. This is red pearl powder, Nito Mosquito. Here we have something pretty cool. This is a company called Tsunoda. And look, it's made in Japan, isn't that nice? This is etching bender. So, long type. Tsunoda. Now, this is a new company. I'm not aware of. Where are they? Hey, this is Niigata-kan. Is this the same as Mineshima? Tsunoda. Niigata-kan. Alright, so this is, Yoshida. Oh wait, no. Tsubame. Yeah. Okay, so Tsubame is, there's two big name modeling tool companies in that city in Niigata Prefecture. There's Godhand and Mineshima. And Godhand is, you may know them because they make some really fantastic and expensive tools. Mineshima is kind of like a poor man's Tamiya, I guess, in terms of tools. They make good stuff, but it's just this stuff is cheaper than Tamiya's, and I would say the quality is pretty much the same. I don't know. Maybe Tokyo Model Detective, if you're watching this, you can chime in and let me know if I'm wrong on that or not. But anyhow, this is great. This really would have been useful from that the photo etch I've been working on up until now. I don't like photo etch too much. I mean, it's cool, but I'm not used to using it very much. But yeah, this is a nice bending tool, and I'm happy I got this. So yeah, look for this in other videos coming soon, I suppose, or maybe not coming soon. Actually, I really could have used this for the DeLorean time machine kit, but oh well, there you go. This is pumice powder. I went to the home center, Kind's Home, asked for pumice powder. I talked to a couple of people. They had no idea what I was talking about. Pumice powder is something that I think most North Americans know what it is. But even if you don't know what it's used for, you still know what it is. I mean, you know what pumice powder, you've heard of the name. Maybe it's called something else in Japan, like a different brand name, I guess. I don't know, but they didn't know what it was. I had to go on Yahoo Shopping and I found this. So pumice powder is ideal, my friend Gary told me, for scrubbing resin kit parts. Use pumice powder, and it really helps to take off the mold release agent. And I've had to struggle with resin kits in the past, and so I'm gonna just use this from now on to totally scrub this stuff. So just soapy water, hot, warm soapy water is just not enough. Usually, you gotta use some pumice powder in the mix as well to make sure that stuff comes off, so that your paint doesn't lift up with masking tape.
Candy, 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 I can't let you go.
Gundam Converge number 18. This is the GM Command Space Type. Oh my gosh, I love this design. It's really great. Now I do have a few other Gundam Converge. Right, this is my GM. This is a GM 3. I can't remember. And oops, shield just fell off just to piss me off. All right, let's open this up. Okay. Open. Oh my. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. And this is how this qualifies as candy. It's got gum. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. delicious gum. Alright. Oh. Okay. Cool. Cool. Neat. Okay. Gum is yummy. Oh, isn't that beautiful? That is so cool. I'm gonna shoot the bad guys until they stop moving, because I'm GM Space Command. This mecha appeared in 0080, Gundam 0080, War in the Pocket, if I remember right. Tasked with colony defense, if I remember. Pretty freaking cool. Swanky neato.
Chocolate.
Oh my gosh, this is cool. Baskin Robbins, or they call it 31 here in Japan still. They have a really delicious flavor, my favorite flavor actually, and I've only seen it in Japan. I've never seen it in America. I did not see it in Australia, but it's called Popping Shower, and it has like the popping candy, like Pop Rocks, right? Mixed in with the ice cream. This is candy by Fujimi. So, yeah, this is really cool, huh? Alright, so it says here, pink and green popping candy, ramune, and soda ice cream flavor white chocolate, and it's got milk chocolate on the bottom. For sale in Japan only. Oh my gosh, I see a potential for black market chocolate here. Yeah. So yeah, this is cool. I picked this up at Family Mart, and let's open this up. Now I did not see any other flavors. Perhaps they might have other flavors, but I don't know. This is my very favorite flavor here. Okay, so it just says open. So, yoink. Let's give this a shot. So it comes in a tray. Oh, that's great. It's got the popping candy in there. That's good, actually. Wow. I was afraid it wouldn't be good, but it's pretty darn good. Alright, so this is something I am rather excited about. Get this, guys. Alright, so we have, coming up in September, Crusher Joe. More neat crap, Crusher Joe stuff from Hasegawa. This is coming up in September. This is a 1/3000 scale kit of the Cordoba, which is that big, gibungus flagship that is seen in the movie, and that is super duper neato. Oh my gosh, holy crap, yay. And fine molds. Now this is coming in August. I think it was originally supposed to be out in June, but I guess probably because of the Chinese cooties, I guess. What we got coming is a F4EJ and an F4EJ Kai. Now actually I put in a pre-order for the Kai, and it's just so cool, so cool. Now this is a brand new tooling for Phantom kit from Fine Molds, and that is super neato, because you know they made that excellent Tomcat. I mean, I haven't built mine yet, but from what I understand, it is pretty freaking awesome. So, yeah, this is going to be exciting. So there's very slight cosmetic differences between the F4EJ and the F4EJ Kai. I think the Kai has like a little antenna on the top. Very, very slight differences. What's also cool though is that they're coming out with a Pito tube. It's going to be a metal upgrade part, and I have a pre-order for that as well.
Yes. Questions.
Alright, let's do some questions here. So, Studyland asked, where did you get this MIDI tune from? Now, this is for the Aoshima Knight Rider. So, I used the PC Engine game, Knight Rider Special. And so, yeah, there is a really neat website where you can download the chip tunes, right? The actual music from video games. And that's where I use a lot of these. Like, for example, when I did the F-14 Tomcat Eggplane, I used the Top Gun on the Famicom or the NES, whatever you want to call it. I used the music from that. So, yeah, it's a good way to avoid any sort of copyright, and so that's what I do for a lot of my videos. Just put in video game music because, heck, video games are cool. And that's how I got started with my channel. Now, Sock Monkey McLean. Gosh, I love this guy's channel. His username is so cool. Sock Monkey. I love that. Yeah, I think I mentioned before. It's just kind of like a sock monkey. It's kind of a word that my wife and I use around each other. Anyhow, I mean, nothing too weird or whatever, but there's a backstory to it. So, you have any more Macross kits on the bench or coming down the pipe anytime soon? I really enjoy your videos. Well, I really enjoy your username, so thanks for asking. Nice question. So, yeah, that's Macross Girl. That's the transforming Macross Delta kit with the Macross Girl. I am almost done with it, but I got kind of pissed off at how those stupid stickers were popping up on me, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hand paint some parts, especially the parts on the girl. I think some of the blue stickers, just the way that the stickers they wrap around the corners, and they just pop off, and it's just kind of really just was not making me happy at all. And also, like, the stickers are just really thin, so the color underneath will kind of blade through the stickers, and well, I really wish they had done some sort of some water slide decals, but they were going for their more of a toy thing. I will show you though what I am considering building. Check this out, guys. Alright, so for the 1/100 stuff, this is the RDE, this is the Regault Battle Pod from Macross, and this is the heavy duty missiles. Now they also have another one with the light missiles, but I don't have that one. I do have this. The decals are a bit yellowed, so I have them pasted to my window. But yeah, this is 1/100 scale RDE, and I'm kind of considering starting this one. This is the Imai 1/100 scale super, or I'm sorry, the armored Valkyrie. And yeah, I got this for a good price, but unfortunately, look at these decals are just trash. Look at these. I mean, they're gonna just shatter once they hit the water. I mean, these are just so brittle looking. I mean, I'll try to bleach them, I guess, but they look really terrible. So that's probably why I got a good price. I should have read the fine print. I didn't do that. But yeah, I'm gonna really have to try to do the decal bonder on this stuff to try to salvage it. But you could just, I don't know if you could see that, but those are some bad wrinkles in there. That's just no good. Maybe I can, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with that. But anyhow, it does look like a pretty darn neat kit. So This is by Imai. I know RDE had 72nd scale, I think, of the Armored Valkyrie. But that's the deal with between RDE and Imai. Imai had the better proportions. RDE had, like, for example, like this right here is his next objective, like that nose art type of girl on the leg. The RDE kits have that. Imai kits do not have that. RDE kits, like, for example, this probably has polycaps. Oh, it doesn't. I guess this is one of the first generation kits, I guess. But no, it doesn't have polycaps. But like that Destroid I made, but I already had the polycaps. However, though, the Imai kits have better proportions, and they just seem to be they come together more bitterly. It turns out this kit does have the polycaps. We were in with the decals. Decals were a bit yellowed, so I was taping it into the inside of the window, and now they're nice looking. So, but yeah, the RDE kits have the polycaps. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe I might do these kits, one of these kits, or of course also I have like a whole stack of Hasegawa Valkyries. I mean, check this out. So these are all my Macross kits, the Hasegawa up here. These are the Bandai kits I made. I need to finish this. Oh my gosh, I really need to finish this. I only did like one video, and I had plans to light it up and everything. This is the Max type. I really need to get back to that. But I've got, like, you know, the Macross Do You Remember Love. This is from the TV show. Most of them are all Do You Remember Love Valkyries. And of course I got the Batroid one. But I don't know. I have no idea which one I might start on first. I mean, I get doing the ones like the Super Valkyries with fast packs, so that's pretty tempting, but I don't know. I'm not sure which one I would do, but heck, I really do need to get back to this, so maybe that's what I'm gonna get back to, I guess. Canopy masks. Tell me a little bit more about the canopy masks. Well, unfortunately, unless you live in Japan, you're just not gonna be able to find these canopy masks. The seller's called Masking Hanbai, which means sales, and that's the name of his operation. So he sells stuff on Yahoo Shopping Japan, Yahoo Auctions Japan, and maybe Amazon Japan. I don't know. I try not to use Amazon Japan. Don't like Amazon. Jeff Bezos is a big poop ass. But yeah. Now, if there's, like, for example, this kit, if you want, I might give you those masks. I don't know. If anybody's interested, just contact me, I guess, because I might have some extras. So this is going with Aoshima Back to the Future, and in the video description I said, do not ask me where I get the photo etch because it was given to me and you can't buy it anymore because they don't make them anymore. So this man is obviously he's French, and English is not his first language, so I cut him some slack. So where did you get where did you buy the photo etch? I just said, they don't sell the photo etch sets anymore. You can't get them separately. You could maybe get them, I don't know if they ever sold them separately, I don't know, but you can maybe find the kit that comes with the photo etch, I suppose, but good luck with that. You're probably going to spend lots of money on that. So okay, so I worked at Aoshima, and if I remember correctly, the photo etch was made by a company in Korea, and I guess they just no longer do that. And the Knight Rider scanner, LED scanner, that was made in China, and they lost contact with the factory that makes that, so you're not going to find those anymore. Okay, so for everybody's favorite part, and this is YouTube comments from jerks. Yay. Habib Savoji says, video, very, very poor video shooting, too much shake. Well, this is for the trip to the Tamiya store, and this gets tons and tons of views still today. And I guess this guy would rather that I not take the video. I should not have taken the video after all, so sorry for ruining your life, Habib. Oh my gosh, Tommy Boy. I can't even remember that. I think you mentioned about like, oh yeah, my daughter talking about how much homework she had. It was about as much as spider poop, like tiny little bit of spider poop. Thanks for nothing, you suck. That's my turd baskets and douche coppers entry for April. Curse you, Tommy Boy. No, he's cool. I like him. However, I do not like Drew Lovely Hell. So this was on the unboxing of the 48 scale Super Valkyrie. He says, "For God's sake, blow your nose." And I can't believe this. It's like, alright, so it was in May, and I even watched the video. I was just kind of, you know, every once in a while, and then like that. It wasn't like I was like, or anything, but this guy was just, these people are just OCD or something, I swear. Gary Bass says, "It's decal, not decal. I'm tired of hearing you all mispronouncing it." Mispronouncing. Is that like a beauty pageant or something? Welcome, mispronouncing. I'm tired of seeing these people who can't even type English. Oh my gosh. Alright, so let's just explore the etymology of the word decal, okay? It comes from the word décolomania, from the French décolomanie, or décalacure, transferring of a tracing from specially prepared paper to glass, porcelain, etc. So decal is like a truncation of this, okay? So, yeah, décalomanie that's French, okay? So the French, I guess the proper pronunciation would be decal. That's how they say it in Japan, and I've just kind of just adopted that, okay? Now let's look at Merriam-Webster. It even has it here, decal, e as in the short sound decal, or decal, or dickle, as the Canadians usually say, decal. Okay, so there's decal, decal, and decal, or dickle. Dickle. All right, let's do this again. Decal, 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 and decal. Okay, so this just lists 4 different pronunciations. Okay, so I guess decal is the English. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, so here we go. This is this next one. I'm going to have to set this up here, so let's just watch a video. This is where it comes from. So this is not in on one of my videos at all. This is actually something I encountered on YouTube. So let's watch this.
For a lot of great people, okay?
Yeah, Mr. President, after the presentation we just saw about the heat and the humidity, is it dangerous for you to make people think they would be safe by going outside in the heat, considering that so many people are dying in Florida, considering that this virus has had an outbreak in Singapore, places that are hot and are humid?
Here we go. The new headline is Trump asks people to go outside. That's dangerous. Here we go. Same old group. You ready? I hope people enjoy the sun, and if it has an impact, that's great.
So I left a comment here. I just said, this is pathetic. But you're the president. What makes you think that going outside in the sunshine and getting vitamin D will make people healthy? Oh gosh, this guy is like I said here, what a weasel. Actually, I take that back. I actually like weasels. So Karen Dilday, Karen Dildo says, the sunshine is better and and there's a D in there, and healthier nothing replaces the vitamin D, and that's good for a lot of things. 3 exclamation points. I don't see where get weasel the dumbass weasel here. What? Was this directed at me, Karen? What? I was using sarcasm. What? Are you gonna complain to my manager, Karen? Gosh. The final stupid comment I got in April is by Tino Moreno, and he says, "Hablas mucho cara huevo." And it's funny because actually when I got this message, I was actually talking to my friend from, he's a Puerto Rican guy, and I shared this with him. He said that it means you talk too much, you egghead. So, okay, fine. You know, if you're really upset with that, maybe just don't watch my videos, especially if I don't speak your language. I mean, if you don't speak my language, go ahead and watch it, but if you're going to get upset about it, just, why are you even here? I mean, come on, what the hell? I have watched videos, like, model build videos in Russian and in Japanese, and, well, I mean, I understand Japanese more or less, but, you know, I don't understand Russian, but I'm able to watch their videos. I think they're pretty cool, so what the hell is up with this guy? I don't know. Alright, let's do some nice video comments now. Now for some comments that made me happy. Alright, so this is by Max Brandt. Now I like Max, he's great. He called me a spaz. So far so good on your J-Land Phantom, you spaz. This made me laugh, it really did. And right underneath that, Primed Model Works. You, sir, are the master of 70-second scale. I can't imagine anybody calling me a master of anything, really. I can't even be a master at flippancy, I don't think, but whatever. But that is nice. And this really cracked me up. Now, this is not in one of my videos. This is on Rebels at Cloud9's videos, okay? So, Kevin Morrison. Yes, because the way Brits said it must be so. No! Okay, whatever. So, Vasily Savage. Okay, Bellend, how do us Brits say it? This is, of course, in the you know, Jared in his video, he's talking about, you know, I say it, he says Deckel. And, you know, get over it if you don't like him saying Deckel. And, Vasily, this cracks me up. Good job tearing into this guy. He's a total ding brat. Kevin Morrison, you suck. So there's supposed to be a new Star Wars TV show, I guess, on Disney Plus or whatever it's called. It's all we know about it. It's all about women. Isn't that great? Don't care. You just, you know, if they have to point that out to people instead of just letting it be natural, you know, that's just really stupid. It's like, what the hell, right? So this woman is a former assistant to Harvey Weinstein. So chances are she's like an accessory to rape, basically. She was an assistant to Weinstein. You know, didn't she know what was going on? But yet she's supposed to be, you know, feminist champion and such. Total hypocrite. So they couldn't sell what this story is about on its own merits. All we know is that it's just about women. It's just ridiculous. In other news, Michael Moore, he came out with a documentary, and the documentary basically talks about how green energy is a total joke. If you have to chop down a whole bunch of trees to build a stupid solar farm, and then the solar panels break, and it costs money to have them, you know, repaired and such. there you go. You got the stupid windmills, and they're karate chopping the birds out of the sky and everything. And just not this past winter, but the winter before, it was like super, super cold, right? Which, of course, that's also because of global warming. You know, if there's ever an unusually warm day, that's because of global warming. And when there's unusual cold weather, that's also due to global warming. Go figure. But that proved that, you know, there's no sun, so the solar panels don't work. And it's too cold for the windmills to work. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Every time those things need to be shut down because they don't work, there's not enough sun or there's not enough wind, then they have to go to these backup generators, and of course there's a surge in energy every time. And what are they using? It's ridiculous. They're not really environmental, right? So Michael Moore, he's seen the light, actually. It's funny. So he starts repeating what everybody else, well, at least, you know, people in their right mind, I guess, have been saying about this green technology. And leftists are just freaking out and trying to silence him. They're so pissed off. It's so funny when you see them eating each other. And this whole Tara Reid thing with she's actually accusing Joe Biden sniffing the kid's hair, and just, God, that guy is such a randy bastard. It's funny because Kavanaugh, he was accused of rape by that was there Dr. Christine Ford or whatever her name is. She had, like, nobody could back her up on this story. She couldn't remember where she was or when it happened or anything like that. She never bothered filing out a police report. But on the other hand, Tara Reid, she has an airtight story. She talked to people at the time. Her mom even called into CNN. So her story is becoming more and more credible. And so finally, you know, these Me Too people like Alyssa Milano, who was originally wanting to silence any sort of criticism of Joe Biden, she's actually turned around and saying, you know what, you know, we do need to believe all women. It's like, well, gee, thank you. You know, yeah. Well, you need to listen to all women, of course. You don't have to believe them. You can believe them if their story is credible. If it seems like they're actually telling the truth, then yeah, you should believe them. Otherwise, it's just To Kill a Mockingbird, and it's you know, hopefully you know what that story is about. So yeah, Joe Biden. But then again, so many people have been saying all along that he was just a placeholder. Probably it's going to be Michelle Obama, and then when Joe Biden steps out of the picture, because he's such a vegetable, he doesn't know anything about where he is or whatever. But it's probably going to be Hillary, like Michelle Obama or Big Mike or whatever you're going to call him or her. You know, Obama's husband, Michael. He's whatever. Don't want to misgender, right? Don't want to be transphobic. Probably will name Hillary as the running mate. Probably bump her up to be the presidential nominee, and that way she didn't have to bother spending any money campaigning. She doesn't have to be on the campaign trail because of the boogeyman virus. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. I do think Michelle Obama's going to be in there somehow, and her accomplishments are, you know, convincing everybody that she's a woman, and two, screwing up kids' lunch programs, feeding them cardboard or whatever. Oh my gosh. So, wow. Crazy, crazy stuff. Well, anyhow, it is now May, and actually it's May 2nd. I've taken a couple days off away from building this, you know, videoing this. I'm looking at the QAnon drops right now as of today, which would be May 1st in the United States. Interestingly enough, repeating exactly the stuff that I've been talking about on this channel, talking about how mysteriously the pneumonia deaths have just fallen all the way off the graphs. Isn't that interesting? So, yeah. Okay, I admit it. I am QAnon. I am him. No, I'm kidding. It's funny though, there was some asshole who, I forget his name, but he's been claiming to be QAnon, and it's like, well, why does anybody even bother listening to this moron? And it's funny because Q was dropping posts while this guy was on, somebody was interviewing him, and then the interviewer was like, oh hey, look, Q's been dropping, and the guy's like, totally embarrassed him. And of course this guy, his wife, left him or whatever, and he's even admitted he has deep psychological problems or whatever. Anyhow, I do hope that life will resume very soon. I hope that this hydrochloroquine is going to solve hydrochloroquine with zinc, because there was that whole thing about the whole the VA thing, and they didn't use zinc, and so you're supposed to use those things in conjunction with each other. Am I at all surprised that the mainstream media and Democrat politicians are saying that it doesn't work? Not at all surprised, especially considering that Big Pharma is where they get their money from, right? So, yeah, when that is your source of funding, you're going to try to shill hard for Big Pharma, and so they want to come up with of course, vaccines first of all, and then of course also pills that are far more expensive than hydrochloroquine, which only costs like 60 cents per pill or something like that, and that's probably before insurance for all I know. I don't know. But yeah, they do not want hydrochloroquine to be effective because Orange Man bad, and 2, Big Pharma. So you think about who is benefiting from all this, what profits are to be made, who are the people who are responsible for those profits, and gee, isn't it coincidental that these are the same people who are in the limelight? And especially since Q has been dropping this stuff about the pneumonia deaths and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, Trump knows what's going on. This Dr. Fauci guy, he had better run for the hills, I think. Trump's been parading him around, putting him on the spotlight, public eye. Yeah, dude, you better come up with plan B, because we're on to you. Anyhow. Oh my gosh. I heard that mountain lion, so I gotta get going. You folks take care. Hopefully, God, if people are unemployed, I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you guys. I'm lucky that at least I have my job, but I'm just at home. Anyhow, take care.